Hello, and welcome to another video. As you see by the title, we are going to be discussing the death of Sabu by the numbers. Now, without further ado, without holding you, without wasting your time, let's jump straight into it. Now, Sabu died at the age of 60. When you type 60 out as a word, you get 97, 25, 38, and 29. A perfect match for the word death. Same numbers, just in different ciphers. As you see here, if you don't know what you're looking at, this is Gematria, the Kabbalistic practice of coding numbers into words. As you see, we have 4 base ciphers: ordinal, reduction, reverse, and reverse reduction. Now, the 2 green ciphers, ordinal and reverse, if you're new to Gematria, ordinal is simply put taking the value of a letter. So say, for example, A is the first letter, B is the second, three is the third, D is the fourth, so on and so forth. You would take whatever value it is in the alphabet, and you would add it with whatever letters are in whatever word you're typing in the ordinal. In the reverse, it's the same thing, but you're just putting the alphabet in reverse. So instead of A being the first letter, it would be Z, and A would be the 26. Reduction is basically the same thing as ordinal, but every letter that has a value of a double digit, you would reduce and get a single digit. So for example, J is the 10th letter, it would become 1. K is the 11th letter, it would become 2. So on and so forth. Same thing with the reverse. The reverse is just that same system, just in reverse, just putting the alphabet in reverse. But 60 equals death. Well, 60 and death, perfect match. Moving forward, when you type in dead, you get 14 in the ordinal and the reduction. Just like ECW, the company that that Sabu would make his name in, that he would, become a known name from. Well, when you take Sabu's real name, Terry Brunk, which sounds a lot like Terry Funk, another wrestler sacrificed by the numbers, you get 64. Interesting that kill also equals 64, but in the reverse cipher. Terry Brunk equals 64 in the reverse reduction cipher, as you see. Moving forward, when you take just his first name, Terry, you get 86. Just like human sacrifice, 86. This is a little bit out of order, but still relevant. But the place he would have his last match at and probably died, I say probably because they don't really tell you where he died at or how he died. They just say he's dead. But let's just assume he died in Las Vegas, even though I don't think he did, but they're not telling us where he died. But Las Vegas, Nevada, when you write it out, you get 43 in the reduction cipher and 83 in the reverse reduction cipher. When you type in murder, you get 34 in the reduction and 83 in the reverse reduction. 34, 43 being reflections of each other. And when you take Sabu, his name, you get 43. We're going to come back to that 43, but let's move forward. We're going to come back to that 43, though. Las Vegas, the place he died at, equals 86. Now, 86 means to get rid of something or somebody. That was, they did that on purpose. Because as you see, human sacrifice equals 86. So, let's move forward. Now, Sabu would have his last professional wrestling match on April 18th, 2025 at GCW Spring Break 9. Well, when you take from his birthday to his last match he would have, you get 4 months and 6 days. A lot like sacrifice, which equals 46 in the reduction cipher. Also, wrestling equals 46, and that's relevant because he was a wrestler. When you take the day he died, Sunday, it equals 33, just like GCW equals 33, the last wrestling company he would wrestle for. And of course, 33, that's the highest degree of the Scottish Rite Freemasonry. It has a lot to do with scripture. Jesus dying at the age of 33, and he got hung with 3 nails and came back 3 days later. Um, 33 is a real special number to the occult. Moving forward, from his last match to the day he died, we get to 3 weeks and 3 days. Again, showing that this was just a ritual to further the wrestling business. Because if you're not aware why these sacrifices happen and why all these people die like this at young ages, is to keep these essentially, it's a lot of shit, but essentially it's to keep the businesses going and to keep, you know, shit, fucking Jesuits and Freemasons richer, essentially, and just keep the show going. If you know anything about the Roman Colosseum or old Mayan games, it's just a similar thing. Already covered that. Now, Sabu's last opponent was Joey Janela. Now, me personally, I'm not that familiar with Joey Janela. I've heard his name, seen a couple matches, but I've never really got deep into his work. Sure, he's a phenomenal wrestler though. But Joey Janela, he was 35 when he had his match with Sabu. And also, his birthday is July 3rd. I didn't put it in here, but sacrifice equals 73. So I find it, I think the bookers knew what they were doing, because it's all about the bookers essentially, because the bookers are the one that put these matches together, and they do a lot when they put these matches together. It's a lot they have to do to put these matches together and get these matchups. But let's move forward. Now, his last match with Joey Janela, this is exactly how they wrote it. This is exactly, how it's written. Hardcore no rope barbed wire match. It equals 163. Interesting thing about 163 is it's the 38th prime number. Now, if you're familiar with Gematria, you already know where this is gonna go. But again, murder equals 38, RIP equals 38, and death equals 38. Also, Kabbalah and Gematria equals 38 as well. Didn't put that in there, but those equal 38 as well. Those are very relevant to what I'm talking about right now. Now, ECW, its formal name was Extreme Championship Wrestling. It equals 150 in the reduction cipher. And now 150 is a big number with the Illuminati. Their birthday is literally May 1st, and you can take the zero off numerology rules, and it can be written as 5-1. But without that out the way, it's interesting to note that from his birthday to the day he died was exactly, and I mean exactly 150 days. So this looks like another human sacrifice to further the wrestling ritual. What was his name? Steve McMichael. Steve McMichael was another wrestler. He died at 67. He wore 76. Ric Flair was 76. Ric Flair equals 76. Charlotte Flair, which is Ric Flair's daughter, had a match at WrestleMania. Her name equals, I think, 67 or 76. Can't remember which one, but I know it's one of the two. And she lost her match at WrestleMania. I think, honestly, in my opinion, that was part of the ritual as well, but I could be wrong. But I don't think I am. Now moving forward. GCW, its formal name is Game Changing Wrestling. It equals 216 in the ordinal cipher. Now, from Sabu's last match to Joey Janela's birthday, we get 2 months and 16 days. Now, from Sabu's death to the birthday he would never get to see, we get a span of 216 days. Now, 216 is the product you get when you times 6 times 6 times 6. Moving forward. All right, perfect. So also you can also say it was 76 days from the last match Sabu would have to Joey Janela's birthday. You get 76 days, which is the reflection of human sacrifice. Moving forward though. The match happened on a date with 31 and 67 date numerology. Now I know the 31 I can't remember exactly, but it has relevance. I don't think I added it in here, but it has relevance to something with this ritual. Somebody can do a further breakdown and do it for me, but let's just ignore the 31 for real quick. But the match would happen on a date with 67 date numerology. Again, you get the date numerology by, it's different paths you can get, but they ultimately like give you the same shit. But you basically just add all the numbers in the date, and that's how you get the date numerology. Now, I just added this, but I think it was very interesting. They use this picture with Sabu in the white with the blood on his pants, and of course the blood always represents. I mean the red always represents blood, and how shocking that this was actual blood on his pants. This wasn't makeup or nothing. This was actual blood on his pants, and I love like this. They use this picture mainly on most of the articles and things that they syndicate about Sabu's death. They specifically use this picture, and you'll notice that with these celebrities' death, uh, or if a celebrity sacrifices somebody, they're always going to color code. They're always going to be in the colors black, white, and red. Always, always. They're always going to do it. Jesuit colors. Moving forward, though, Terry Brunk, his real name equals 118, just like death equals 118 in the Latin cipher. Professional wrestler, which Sabu was, also again equals 118. Game changing wrestling, the formal name for ECW or GCW, sorry, equals 108 in both reduction ciphers. Very interesting that Sabu's last match that he would have would be on the 108th day of the year. And also, it would be on a date that leaves 257 days left in the year. 257 is important because that's what blood sacrifice equals in the reverse cipher. So again, this is just undeniable that this was a blood sacrifice. This is just undeniable. The fact that they're not even telling you how he died, and it's been a month since he died, and they don't tell you where he died. Sounds like a ritual to me. And plus, he was 60. 60 isn't even old. Again, 60 is not old at all. May have some fucked up knees, fucked up back, but you're not old. Now, kill. Kill equals 44. Just like how, again, I didn't include the end date, but just like how from Sabu's birthday to the day he died would be exactly 4 months and 4 weeks. Ritual equals 81-27. GCW spring break, where Sabu would have his match, equals 72 and 81. 72 being the reflection of 27. And interesting that they're both in the same cipher. Terry, now just Terry by itself, his first name equals 32. Just like, again, from his last match to his death would be 3 weeks and 2 days. Las Vegas, Nevada, the place he would have his match at, and I don't want to say die because it's not confirmed, but we'll just say he died there, even though they don't even fucking tell us where he died or how he died. We'll just say he died there, but it's even if he did, it's relevant because that's where he had his last match. Equals 32, and also the date he died on equals 32 as well. Now, this one I got a little like, this one I just looked because I realized, I just remembered that WWE bought AAA, which I think is the second or the first biggest lucha company in the world. They bought them April 19th, 2025. And you gotta love how it says WWE owns 51% of AAA. It couldn't be 50%. It had to be 51. Illuminati number. It just had to be 50. It had to be 51, right? Had to be 51. But from April 19th to May 11th is 3 weeks and 2 days. Now, these might be a little like, well, I wouldn't say not, they don't go together, because they do. Because every time, they're not even just wrestling, but anytime a company or somebody signs a major contract or they get a major acquisition of something, there's always going to have to be a sacrifice or a humiliation ritual right after that. It's always, always, always. Always. Always will. Now closing this out. 191 is the 43rd prime number. Sabu equals 43, right? Also, his name equals 191, just like Society of Jesus. Again, showing that this was another ritual to further the business and keep the business going. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you learned something new. And till the next one, hello. I'll see you later.